My name's June Rodriguez, and I'm 34, a financial analyst who thought she had it all figured out until the Christmas my family turned my trust into a punchline. Picture this. I'm curled up alone in my Seattle apartment, snow dusting the windows, eating reheated spaghetti while scrolling through Instagram. That's when I see it, my sister Kayla's live video, beaming from my parents' house in Tacoma. A glittering Christmas party packed with lights, catered food, and every relative except me. They'd told me they were too broke for a holiday gathering. They'd canceled Christmas, or so I thought. But there they were, toasting with champagne, laughing about how they'd fooled me, the responsible one who paid their bills. My stomach dropped like I'd missed a step in the dark. If you've ever been blindsided by the people you love most, you'll get why this moment changed everything. I grew up in Tacoma, Washington, in a house that always felt one paycheck away from collapse. My dad, Tom Rodriguez, was a car salesman with a side hustle in risky stock trading, always chasing the next big win that never came. He'd come home with stories of deals that'd change our lives, but by the time I was 12, I knew his promises were as reliable as a rainy Seattle forecast. My mom, Patricia, worked part-time at the local library, her soft voice smoothing over Dad's chaos, making excuses for his latest financial flop. My younger sister, Kayla, 3 years my junior, inherited Dad's knack for dreaming big but none of his hustle. She wanted the influencer life, designer bags, perfect selfies, without the work to back it up. Me? I was the odd one out, saving every dollar from my lemonade stand days, working double shifts at a coffee shop through high school to afford college applications. By 18, I'd earned a partial scholarship to the University of Washington, studying finance while juggling 2 jobs, barista by day, tutor by night. I graduated with honors, landed a job at a tech firm in Seattle, and by 30, I was pulling a 6-figure salary, managing budgets for startups that could make or break millions. I bought a cozy condo in Capitol Hill with a view of the Puget Sound that reminded me why I worked so hard. My 401k was solid, my emergency fund could cover a year of expenses, and I even splurged on a used Prius that felt like a victory lap. But back in Tacoma, my family's life was a different story. Dad's trading schemes tanked, Mom refinanced their house to cover his debts, and Kayla cycled through retail jobs, burning cash on outfits for her Instagram grid. I became their safety net, wiring money for their mortgage, Kayla's rent, even Dad's investment opportunities that never panned out. They called it family loyalty. I called it love until that Christmas Eve when I saw the truth. Looking back, I see how I became the family's fixer, the one who patched the holes in our sinking ship. Growing up in Tacoma, our house was a revolving door of stress, bills piling up, Dad's latest stock tip failing, Mom whispering, "It'll be fine," like a mantra. I was 10 when I started hiding my babysitting money in a shoebox, afraid Dad would borrow it for another sure thing. By 16, I was working weekends at a diner, saving for college while Kayla spent her allowance on lip gloss and concert tickets. Mom would hug me and say, "You're our rock, June," but even then, I felt the weight of that role. College was my escape, but it didn't come easy. I studied finance at UW, fueled by coffee and a fear of ending up like my parents. I'd see Dad's texts between classes, "Need $500 for a car repair, kiddo, I'll pay you back," and I'd send it, believing his promises. After graduation, Seattle's tech boom swept me up. I started as a junior analyst, crunching numbers for startups, working 70-hour weeks to prove myself. By my late 20s, I was leading projects, earning bonuses, and buying my condo, a small victory that felt huge. But every step forward came with a call from home. Dad's emergency hospital bill. Mom's plea for grocery money. Kayla's eviction notice after she blew her rent on a Coachella trip. I sent thousands, believing I was helping them stay afloat. Holidays were the worst. Every Thanksgiving, I'd drive to Tacoma with a trunk full of groceries, gifts, and cash to cover their utilities. Christmas meant booking restaurants, buying presents, even paying for their Christmas tree one year when Dad swore they couldn't afford it. I spent over $3,000 on last year's holiday alone, prime rib, personalized ornaments, even a new coffee maker for Mom. Dad toasted with bourbon I'd bought, pitching his latest stock idea. Mom showed off her new scarf to neighbors like she'd picked it out. Kayla pouted because her gift wasn't the exact brand she'd posted on Instagram. I'd smile, exhausted, telling myself it was worth it to see them happy. My best friend, Sarah, saw through it. "They're draining you, June," she said one night over wine. "You're not their daughter, you're their ATM." I brushed her off, but deep down, her words stuck. This Christmas, I wanted things to be different. I'd been seeing a therapist, Dr. Ellis, who helped me see how my family's demands were eroding my life. My financial advisor, Mark, ran the numbers $42,000 sent to my family in the past year alone. I was proud of my career, my savings, my independence, but I was tired of carrying them. In early November, I called a family Zoom. "I love you guys," I said, choosing my words carefully, "but I can't keep funding everything. Let's do a simple Christmas this year, potluck, maybe a secret Santa." Mom nodded, her face tight. Dad muttered about tough times, but agreed. Kayla rolled her eyes, saying, "Fine, but don't expect me to cook." I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe they'd finally respect my limits. As December approached, I kept my contributions modest, a grocery gift card, a few small presents. I declined Sarah's invite to join her family in Portland, wanting to be there for mine. Then, 2 weeks before Christmas, the group chat lit up. "Dad, June, Kayla, your mom and I are heartbroken, but we're canceling Christmas. We're too broke for a gathering. It's about dignity." "Mom, we'd never do this unless we had to. The economy's hit us hard." "Kayla, this sucks. I'm picking up extra shifts to cover rent." I stared at my phone, a mix of relief and sadness washing over me. No big holiday to fund? Fine by me. But something felt off, Dad's pride, Mom's quick agreement, Kayla's dramatics. I offered to bring food or host a small dinner, but Mom shut me down. "No, sweetheart, we need to stand on our own. We'll miss you, but it's for the best." I believed them, picturing them scraping by, and planned a quiet Christmas alone in Seattle. Christmas Eve was gray and cold, Seattle's skyline softened by falling snow. I decorated my condo with a small tree and twinkling lights, trying to keep the holiday spirit alive. I'd sent my family care packages, homemade cookies, a scarf for Mom, a journal for Dad, a gift card for Kayla, hoping to cheer them up. But by evening, their silence was deafening. No replies to my Merry Christmas Eve text, just a heart emoji from Mom. I curled up on my couch, sipping hot cocoa, flipping through holiday movies to fill the quiet. Die Hard or Elf? I muttered, trying to laugh. But the loneliness gnawed at me, a heavy ache I couldn't shake. Around 10 p.m., I opened Instagram, scrolling past friends' cozy family photos. Then a notification hit. Kayla Rodriguez is live. Kayla never went live. Her posts were curated perfection, not raw footage. Curious, I tapped it. The screen buffered, then exploded with color and noise. Kayla's face, flushed and giggling, filled the frame. "This is the Christmas party of the century," she squealed, panning around. My heart stopped. It was my parents' living room in Tacoma, but unrecognizable, draped in fairy lights, a massive tree glittering with ornaments, tables groaning under catered food. A DJ spun holiday remixes, and a bartender poured cocktails. My parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, even my cousin Marcus from Denver, danced and toasted, dressed in new outfits. Mom's hair was freshly dyed, Dad's shirt crisp from the store. They looked thrilled, not broke. Kayla's camera swung to them. "Say Merry Christmas," she shouted. "Merry Christmas." Dad boomed, raising a glass of whiskey I recognized as top shelf. "Best party ever." Mom added, her smile wide. Then Kayla's friend slurred, "How'd you afford this?" Kayla laughed, pressing a finger to her lips. "Shh, don't tell June. She thinks we're broke." Dad joined in, chuckling. To June, working too hard to notice. They clinked glasses, their laughter slicing through me. I froze, my cocoa going cold, as the truth hit. They'd lied to keep me away, using my money to fund their extravaganza. I sat there, staring at my phone, the Instagram live looping in my mind like a bad dream. The twinkling lights, the chocolate fountain, the ice sculpture, yes, an actual ice sculpture, mocked the microwaved spaghetti on my plate. My family, my blood, had planned this behind my back, laughing at how easy it was to fool me. I felt like I'd been punched, the air sucked out of my lungs. But beneath the shock, a colder feeling settled in: clarity. I wasn't their daughter or sister. I was their bank, and they'd just cashed out for the party of the year. I opened my banking app, hands trembling, and scrolled through transactions. $2,500 monthly to my parents' mortgage. $600 every 2 weeks to Kayla for rent. $1,200 for Dad's medical emergency last month. Nearly $45,000 in a year, money I'd earned through late nights and skipped vacations. I screenshot everything: Amber's video, their texts, my bank statements, building a case against their lies. Tears didn't come. Instead, I felt a strange relief, like a fog lifting. I'd spent years telling myself I was helping out of love, but love doesn't mock you on Instagram Live. Love doesn't exclude you from Christmas. I paced my apartment, the Christmas tree lights blinking mockingly. Anger surged: how dare they, but guilt crept in too. Was I selfish for feeling betrayed? Should I have pushed harder for a small gathering? Then I remembered Kayla's giggle, Dad's toast, Mom's carefree smile. They didn't want me there. They wanted my money, not my presence. I sank onto my couch, wrapping myself in a blanket, and let the emotions crash over me: hurt, rage, shame, and finally resolve. This wasn't just about one party. It was about a decade of being used, of pouring my heart and wallet into people who saw me as a resource, not a person. Christmas morning dawned bright, the snow outside my window sparkling like it was mocking my mood. I hadn't slept, my mind replaying the party, the laughter, the betrayal. I made coffee, the routine grounding me, when my phone buzzed. A text from Dad: Merry Christmas, June. Hope you're treating yourself. Quick ask: can you send $4,000 for January rent? Property managers on us early. No mention of the party. No, we miss you. Just another handout, as if I hadn't just seen them toasting with my money. That's when something snapped, not with anger, but with certainty. I was done. I typed back, fingers steady: lose my number. I don't fund liars. Then I blocked him. I blocked Mom, Kayla, every aunt and cousin I'd seen at that party. I logged into my bank, canceled every recurring transfer, removed them from my credit cards, and set up fraud alerts. I emailed Mark, my financial advisor, requesting an urgent meeting to lock down my assets. It took hours, each click a brick in the wall I was building between me and their greed. By noon, my phone was silent, my account secure. I stood in my shower, the hot water washing away the sleepless night, and felt a quiet power. For the first time in years, my money was mine. My life was mine. Sarah called, inviting me to her family's Christmas dinner, but I declined. I needed this day to process, to let the truth settle. I cooked a simple meal: roast chicken, a glass of wine, and watched the snow fall over Seattle. The loneliness stung, but it was honest. No more pretending my family loved me for me. No more carrying their weight. I wasn't just closing a door. I was opening one to a life where I chose who got my time, my trust, my heart. The days after Christmas were a storm of guilt trips and desperation. My phone lit up with messages from numbers I hadn't blocked: Mom on LinkedIn, June, call us, it's urgent. Kayla via Venmo, requesting $4,000, don't be dramatic, family helps family. A cousin on Facebook, your parents are worried, what's going on? Not one asked if I was okay. Not one mentioned the party or their lies. It was all about the money they'd lost access to. By evening, Kayla showed up at my building, banging on the lobby door. Miss Rodriguez, your sister's here, the doorman said. She's insistent. I took a breath. Tell her to leave, Tom. Call the police if she won't. She left a note: you're being selfish, June. Mom and Dad need you. Get over it. I saved it with the screenshots, evidence of their entitlement. Therapy with Dr. Ellis became my lifeline. This is financial abuse, he said, his voice steady but kind. Family makes it harder to see, but it's abuse all the same. I admitted the guilt gnawing at me. Weren't parents supposed to rely on their kids? Not like this, he replied. Healthy reliance builds mutual respect, not deception. I leaned on Sarah, too, who listened over coffee as I poured out the hurt. My work team noticed my focus sharpen, mistaking it for holiday drive. When Kayla showed up at my office, yelling in the lobby, my boss, Greg, pulled me aside. Everything okay? I told him the truth, edited, family issues over financial boundaries. I'm handling it. He nodded. Take what time you need. I hired a lawyer, Ms. Carter, who specialized in family disputes. You owe them nothing legally, she said, reviewing my bank records. But their persistence suggests you need stronger protections. I changed my phone number, got a P.O. box, froze my credit. Each step felt like shedding a layer of their control. By February, the messages slowed, but the consequences of my boundaries rippled. I heard through a mutual friend that Dad was working extra hours, Mom took a full-time job, and Kayla moved to a cheaper apartment. Part of me felt proud. They were stepping up. But the hurt lingered. Why did it take me cutting them off to make them act responsibly? By summer, Seattle's streets bloomed with life, and so did I. 6 months after that Christmas betrayal, I'd built a new world, one where my worth wasn't tied to my wallet. Therapy with Dr. Ellis helped me unpack why I'd let their exploitation go on so long. Guilt, love, a need to be the good daughter. I grieved the family I thought I had, but I also found joy in creating one that chose me back. Sarah and her partner, Mike, hosted weekly dinners, filling my condo with laughter. I joined a hiking group, trading office stress for mountain trails. A financial literacy program where I volunteered became my passion, helping others avoid the traps I'd fallen into. In April, Mom sent a letter to my P.O. box, her familiar handwriting stirring old wounds. We never meant to hurt you, she wrote. Your success was our pride. Can't we help each other again? It was the same old script, no apology for the lies, just a plea for money framed as family love. I didn't respond, but I kept the letter, a reminder of why I'd walked away. Dr. Ellis called it growth, not villainy, to choose myself over their story of me. One June evening, Dad showed up at my office, looking worn but still carrying that salesman charm. June, we miss you, he said, his voice soft. Christmas was a mistake. Can we move past it? I kept my distance, heart pounding but steady. It wasn't just Christmas, Dad. It was years of using me. I'm open to a relationship, but not one built on my bank account. I handed him Dr. Ellis's card. If you and Mom want to rebuild, start here. No money involved. He took it, his face unreadable, and left. I haven't heard from him since, but I hold the door open, just a crack, for a future based on respect, not obligation. That summer, I sat on my balcony, iced coffee in hand, watching the sunset over Puget Sound. My condo was redecorated, new art, cozy chairs, no space for family who'd never visit. My life felt full, not with stuff, but with people who saw me, not my paycheck. Sarah, Mike, my hiking crew, my volunteer group, they were my family now, built on laughter, shared dreams, and mutual care. The next Christmas loomed, but I wasn't afraid. I'd volunteer at a community kitchen, host a friend giving, maybe catch a jazz show downtown. No more lonely nights waiting for a family who didn't show up. To everyone who's walked this journey with me, thank you. You've seen me through betrayal, boundaries, and a new beginning. If my story hit home, hit subscribe and join us. We're telling tales of heartbreak, courage, and rebuilding, one honest moment at a time. Keep choosing yourself, keep building connections that lift you up, and I'll meet you in the comments, where we share the messy, beautiful truth of living authentically.